Hey everybody, this is Momentary Flux. Welcome back to Factorio, the Minimalist factory of Bob's Mods. We're getting our oil routed over here and getting a refinery going. We're going to start on oil products in an effort to move towards getting blue science and logistics robots, well, construction robots too, but mostly I want logistics robots to carry things around for me. So let's get back to work. It's gonna get everything connected up here. So at the end of last episode, I started on a thought where I was going to ask, if you're a fellow YouTuber, I would be very curious to hear what equipment or software that you use to do your YouTubing. You know, I'm gonna get concrete going here. Okay, I'm new to this, and I didn't want to jump in and spend a lot of money. You know, not knowing whether it's something I really want to, really continue with in sort of like in a hardcore way. So what I went with was I went with a bunch of free software. I did buy a microphone because I didn't have one at all other than in my laptop, which I didn't really think would work. I need to make a turn here. Hang on. So I bought a microphone, but I'm using free software to do the YouTubing. I'm using something called OBS to capture the video, which I think does a pretty good job. It also captures the microphone input. Let's see where I am here. Yeah, I think I could turn. Actually, let's back it up here. That's a couple down from that belt. That should be fine. So anyway, yeah, I'm using a program called OBS to capture my video, and then I'm using a video editor called VSDC to edit and take the raw video and process it into something YouTube compatible. But I'm very curious what other people use. I'd be interested in maybe some hardware acceleration. If people have one of those boxes, I've seen a couple of guys. I did some research where they had some external video capture devices. It seemed like they were, if you're going to do PlayStation videos, or if you're going to do Xbox, that kind of thing, that with consoles, that you need something external to capture the video. But for the PC, you can do it like I'm doing it now with software. But I'm not really clear on how that would work with hardware. But I think it would be maybe faster. Then again, the capturing doesn't seem to be the problem. That slows things down. It's the processing. An edited video, when you have to put it back into, you have to, I'm not even sure that's called, but redo the video with the right codecs to get it into YouTube. It just takes a long time. I mean, for me, a 20-minute video takes about 20 minutes to process. And then it takes another 20 minutes to upload. So anyway, if you have any insight into that, and I would be very interested to hear what you have to say. Or if you know sort of what, the general consensus is, what are the sort of best practices for doing these, that I would totally appreciate any info you got. Let's see here, where are we? We're not going to stretch that far away. Okay. All right, there we go. Oil is hooked up. Not sure what kind of output we're going to get on this. I guess we'll just find out when we get once we get the refineries working. We'll be able to have a better gauge of how fast things are going to work. This is a good place to run power. There we go. I'm trying to sort of like do a power overlay on the current power setup I have with all these small power poles. I'm trying to work around it, and then eventually I will just go through and remove all of those original power poles, replace them with substations and whatnot. Okay, so let's see here. Do I have fluid handling yet? So I can make some storage tanks. I just saw them a second. Oh, they're there. There's some valves. You know, with the way things flow in here, I don't feel valves are all that important, but sometimes they're useful. I think in my last playthrough I used maybe 1 or 2 for the whole thing, but pumps I think are more useful because they're a valve and they move the fluid along at a certain rate. But for now, let's see here. Let's make 10 of these guys. Should be enough. I'm not using these storage tanks necessarily as you know, massive storage. They're kind of just visual indicators. You know, is it full? Is it half full? Is it empty? How are our fluids doing? That's basically what I'm using them for. I think for crude oil, I will just stick one here, and it can kind of fill up as we're working on things. All right. So like I said, petroleum gas is only used for plastic. I have a list over here off to the side. Sulfur dioxide, I believe, is not used for anything but nickel plates create more of it. So we're going to be adding to that. So we don't really need to make a horizontal row for chemical plants that do things with silicon dioxide. That's this center thing. It's new for Bob's Mods, if you're wondering what I'm talking about. All right, so we just kind of need to do this typical setup here where we have 3 lines. I'm going to go ahead and shut up for a minute while I do this so I don't confuse myself. I haven't sent them anywhere, but I'm gonna. My idea is here to send them up and create like a pipe bus for the various types of oil and chemicals that we're going to produce. I think down here is a good spot for heavy oil tank, and bring it. Silicon or sulfur dioxide. I can put it, and I will put up here. Getting a text. Hey. All right, so we have petroleum gas and sulfur dioxide. Where do we want to put it? Let's just put it there. I think. I don't know. That seems a little weird. I'm gonna move this over, I believe. I want to leave room for water to go by, so we'll put it here. Move this over, line it up. I think that'll work out. Actually, I think I want to leave a little gap so I can walk through there. I know I'll end up getting stuck on it 100 times otherwise. Like that. Okay. So we got sulfur dioxide, petroleum gas, got our 4 main ingredients here, and then we'll send water. We'll continue water up and around. As soon as we get plastic pipes, I'm going to switch over to those exclusively for the rest of the game. Okay, water. So if we put petroleum coming out here, I think the first thing that we're going to want is, I think it's hydrogen chloride. Hydrogen chloride, is that right? Yeah, I believe so. Hydrogen chloride, and then next after that will be plastic. So we should have plastics. Let's see here, plastic, petroleum gas, and chlorine. Maybe we could do petroleum gas first. Or do the plastic first, rather, and then chlorine after it, but then just sort of reverse pipe it. I kind of like that idea. Because like I said, plastic is, at least as far as I know, the only thing that uses petroleum gas. So let's put that second. I do want to, I think we get to a point, see, okay, here's another thing that's new with Bob's Mods, is they have gas vent. If I can find it in here. Maybe I don't have it yet. Vent. Nope, not yet. Here we go. This is the technology I need. You can create a gas vent. So a lot of times what happens is, you know, something fills up. This happens all the time in the standard game, to me anyway, is that the one of the various oil types will fill up, or petroleum gas will fill up, and it will shut down your entire oil production until you either barrel it up, pick up the tanks, or do something to get rid of it, add more tanks, whatever. Because they're never quite ever in balance, you know, at the same time. But with these gas vents, anything that's a gas, you can vent it like when it gets full. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make some of this insulated wire, which will allow me to make green wire and red wire for circuit conditions. So once I have circuit conditions, I can tell it, hey, when this tank gets to a certain filled up to a certain level, vent the gas. And I don't know if it adds to pollution or not. I mean, I think it really doesn't matter when you get to a certain point anyway. I mean, you wouldn't want to just have an open valve on chlorine gas or sulfur dioxide into the atmosphere. It would be terrible. But on this alien world, with the biters are already pissed at you anyway, who cares, right? Let's just vent it into the atmosphere. Environment be damned. So I'm going to switch off concrete and get that real quick. It's just red science, so it'll go extremely quick. It's only 30. Vent. Okay, here we are. I think I need something first. Yeah, there it is. So 2 techs real quick. Just red science. It will only take a second. Anyway, back to what I was saying. I can vent those out, and by the mere fact that you can vent them, it will allow everything to keep running. Now, but the fluids, you know, they do fill up, and there's really nothing you can do about it. You do have to either add more capacity, figure out where to put them, or they just fill up and stop everything. I'm going to clear out these trees so that I can see the tank levels while I'm waiting for that science to complete. Okay. I'm having a little internal debate here. Oops. There we go. Have a little internal debate here whether I want to leave some room for oil cracking, because I can crack the red oil down into light oil, and the light oil down into petroleum gas. Now, I don't necessarily need them on all the time, but there may be a point where I have more demand for plastic, or my plastic demand is outpacing the demand for the other things, in which case I might switch over to plastic production, or switch over to more petroleum gas production. So I think I am going to leave some room. I need to make some chemical factories. I have plenty of resources to make them. We're going to need a lot of those. Okay, so space for cracking. These are just going to be placeholders, rough approximate placeholders for cracking. I think one more space would be good here. Okay. Yeah. All right. So there would be enough room in between for pipes, enough room on the outside for 2 pipes, and then a couple more spaces on this side for pipes, and then we will have our first real thing here, which is going to be plastic. And then after plastic is going to be chlorine, or what is it? Hydrogen chloride, which splits into chlorine and hydrogen, and I'll feed it back into the plastic from above. Okay, so just as a little reminder, plastic. Okay, so plastic, I think we can get away with probably 2 chemical factories for plastic. It seems like the problem with plastic is never the chemical factories being able to make them. It's the rate at which you can produce petroleum gas. I'm sure you guys all know from playing the regular game how things vary so much. Like you're out of this, you're out of that. You need to add more of this. You need to add more of that. You're never having the theoretical perfect mix of things at all times. So I'm going to go with 2 plastic makers. We're going to need output for the plastic. And we have our inputs. Petroleum gas and chlorine, which will come in over here. I've got space for pipes. There should be enough, but you never know. Okay. And then after that, then we need to actually generate the chlorine. And this I'm going to need more. I'm going to go 4 just for good measure. Actually pull these 2 up and move them to the bottom, because we need to produce salt that's made by electrolyzing water, or excuse me, chemical furnacing water. Metal mixing, chemical furnace. We have a couple already. So these make salt, and then the salt goes in to make hydrogen chloride. Oh, my bad. What am I missing here? What is the key element that I'm missing? I think that the hydrogen and chlorine. Let's look here. So electrolyzers, that's what I need, not chemical factories. Okay. That's what I'm missing. And to make those, I need basic circuit boards. Better run up and grab those. While I'm gone, however, can I make nope, can't make an electric furnace. And I destroyed all my regular furnaces, but I need to make one more. Actually, I can make a steel furnace. There we go. Let's cancel the rest of these for now. Cancel. Yeah, what I want to do is I want to make what I was talking about before with the insulated wire, and get some vents and whatnot on those tanks. Okay, basic circuit boards maxed out. Let's get a couple of those. How are we doing on? Oh, we're out. Let's take them all. Need to refill our green science here. Keep 1 stack. Okay, we need to build electrolyzers. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I'll make a couple of stacks. Alright, there we go. That's more like it. Copy that. So water coming in here. Salt coming in here. Because there's no need for pipes over here other than what's needed for this, so there should be enough room here that I can leave room for a belt to run up the back here for the salt. I could just do a big straight pipe here, but I know I'm going to end up wanting to run through there, so might as well just do undergrounds while I'm here. Okay. And we underground this up to our water supply, which is, let's make this the first one. I need to leave room here just in case I need to turn a corner and go up, so I'm going to leave one space there. It's always good to sort of plan ahead for those kinds of things. Right, how far over do we got over there? And also, if you do maximum distance on the pipes, you can always add ones in between. So I try to do that as well. Just little tips there. Okay. Water. Now these are going to need fuel, but as soon as possible they're going to be replaced by electric. So I'm curious if I should run the wood down or do sort of a solid fuel or something like that. Yeah, let's do. I'm gonna get solid fuel going, and then just so I have it handy. It's nice to have a fuel source down here that doesn't rely on wood. So, but for now, I'll just dump some wood in there into the furnaces. Okay, so with our steel furnace here, we've got rubber. Pick everything up. And with rubber, I can make insulated wire, which I'm gonna make all of it that I can. And then I'm going to make one stack of, I like to use the green wire instead of red because red is kind of close to the copper color, but green stands out a little bit more for me. For some of my circuit networks, I just use green wire. And we're also going to want to make some of these gas venting pumps. I'm going to make 10 just so I have them in my inventory. That's going to last me a long time. And they're going to serve as reminders that I need to pop them on the various things that are gas that have the chance to fill up and back up the system. So let's see here. As soon as this gets done, wait for those to finish. I'm going to get a little more lab research speed going. We can start wiring the power in. It wouldn't hurt. I think I'm just going to go every one. There's going to be some overlap, but that's okay. Yeah, okay. I don't need to wire those in because those are just stand-ins. I'm going to bring my power up and above. Wondering, okay, let's bring it in at this level right here. A little overkill on the big power poles, but I'll be pulling them as I do substations that make more area coverage. Okay, let's dump some wood in there. Get some inserters going. We got one on the outside. Let's do this one on the outside. And then we want one on the inside. Cover both sides of the belt. Couple more inserters. Couple more, and then green wire. Okay. And 200 green wire. I may not ever have to make any more wire. I wire up my train stations and a few other things, but this isn't going long inserter, isn't it? But 200 should be plenty. Position near side of belt, long side of belt. Okay, there we go. That's better. And this wood should last a while too. I know I'm making the solid fuel, but you know, maybe I should just dump some wood in a box for each of them, and just replace them with electric when I get the chance. Seems like a plan. Okay, so we got water coming in. Now we need the salt coming in, and we need some outputs for hydrogen and chlorine. So chlorine is used, I think, in plastic and gold processing, and making hydrogen chloride, which is the most important thing. Hydrogen itself is used in cobalt oxide and tungsten, which are still a bit down the road, I think. But we can collect chlorine, and we will put them up here. I think on the same level as the power is good. Use some space. I'm trying to think ahead as much as possible here. You can see we already maxed out our sulfur dioxide. So here's what I was talking about before. If you put one of these little gas releasers and you power it, it will just sit there and vent all the gas until there's nothing left. However, I'm going to pull that off. Okay. I need a small pump. Shit. In order to make a small pump, I need electric engines. But I don't have lubricant yet. I mean, it's easy to make lubricant, but I want to be able to plan out where I put it. Okay. A little backtracking here. I'm going to make a little engine supply real quick. So engines need, let's look. I think they need pipes and gears and steel. Where are you, engines? Oh, there you are. I can't make them yet. Never mind. Okay, back to what we were doing. I was thinking I was going to make a few engines just so I could get some pumps. If you put it, you can't wire. You can't do a circuit network on these gas vents, but you can do them on a pump. And if you do it to the pump, that only turns on at a certain circuit condition, and then pumps into the vent. You can vent things out that way. But I don't have the tech yet to make engines. I'll do that next. I'm going to finish up my chlorine and hydrogen here first. Where's engines? There they are. So we'll do this first. I'm trying to line things up here. Alright, that should be a good lineup for chlorine. Out of undergrounds? Looks like it. Yeah, let's go grab some more pipes. What happened to our tree production? I wonder if we don't have enough. I don't know if we don't have enough of these to keep it going, or what the deal is here. I wonder why it quit. I don't know. I guess it's kind of irrelevant because with the discovery that resin can be made with heavy oil, we're really not going to need it for very long. Can we make that yet? Or is it? Yeah, look at that. We can make. So we should start production of that immediately and replace. Yeah. Although I'm going to kind of need robots to carry this stuff around because it's this wood producer here and this resin producer. But I guess, you know, I could probably, since they're right on the end here, I could pipe some heavy oil up here. That wouldn't be that big of a problem. First things first, though. I'm going to finish this up and we'll call it an episode, and I'll work on that next time. But for now, I got this lined up. Got my pipes. Okay, there's chlorine, and then we want. How far out do we need to go? To leave a couple of spaces for pipes to wiggle around in there. I guess if we have the same orientation. So if I want to, now let's go there. All right, there's electric engines. We have a sort of force feed an assembler to make those for me. Okay, so bring that line down. Some undergrounds. Not quite long enough. Okay. So now all we do is get some inserters to get that salt going into these. And we should have chlorine and hydrogen. And we do. There they are. Look at them go. Filling up. Okay, so our petroleum area is looking like it's off to a good start. It kind of looks like I've given it a little bit more area than it probably needs, but this stuff tends to fill up over time with unexpected things that you're like, oh, I need to add this in there, or oh, if I only had room. And so when you don't have room, it ends up turning into spaghetti. But if you do have room, then you should be able to horn things in there. Okay, well anyway, I've been Momentary Flux. Thanks again for watching the video. If you like it, please hit like. And if you'd like to continue watching the series, please subscribe. We'll see you next episode. Thanks.